Welcome back, folks. Obviously you've realised I'm not Stu, but I'm here to show you something pretty cool that we've just had in from Umarex. Now, we're all familiar with the HK416 platform, but what we've got here is a HK416 A5 FS, which is something that's been specifically designed for French armed forces. So there's a few differences. For example, we've got a longer handguard and a few other bits and pieces as well, which we'll go into detail in a minute. But it's a great looking platform, and if you're looking for something that's realistic looking, then this is definitely one to go for. Anyway, let's get into it. Starting at the front, we've got a nice steel flash hider there. HK 3-prong design, so same as the real steel version as far as I'm aware, on a 14.5-inch barrel, so again longer than you might expect from some of the 416 replicas, but realistic to the French army counterpart. We also have a bayonet lug there on the bottom. Now, we've not had a chance to actually test it with any of our fake bayonets to see if it actually fits, but it looks very similar to the kind of thing you'd see on an M4, so chances are it'll work. It also has, rather interestingly, this little sort of collar and spring mechanism here, which we think is to, it mimics what would be used with rifle grenades, which I don't even know if they're still in use around the world anymore, but basically rifle grenades which would go over the barrel of the gun, fix onto here, and then you'd fire them off the front of the gun. So interesting, if non-functional, but an interesting detail nonetheless. And again, just to keep it as realistic as possible to the real thing. Moving back from there, we've got a CNC aluminium handguard on the front, quad rail design, rail space till next week. You can fit loads of accessories on here if you wanted to. Very, very nicely finished, very finely CNC machined. And also you've got markings in between the rails as well. So if you do like to swap your accessories around between guns, then you can always make a note of where you were on this and put your accessory straight back on there again. So foregrips, lights, pack boxes, etc. Going back to the receiver, again, everything full metal design, very nice quality, lovely laser engraved marks on there as well. And one of the things that was changed for this French Army design was full ambidextrous controls. So as you can see on this side, we've got the standard flappy paddle, ping pong paddle bolt release there, slightly enlarged, and also with this guard over the top, so you're not going to accidentally snag it on anything, which is a nice quality of life feature. Ambidextrous mag release there as well, and your standard fire selector, so semi, full auto, with the ever so familiar HK white and red markings there. Flip it over to the other side, and you can see you've also got ambidextrous fire selector on this side as well, and ambi bolt release, and there's your standard mag release there. So again, everything fully ambidextrous, very, very usable, very reachable, and yeah, very, anyone can use this basically. Nice quality grip on there as well. I forget which pattern this is, but it's again, we're seeing these more and more on the HK416 style rifles. Very, very comfortable. Nice grip pattern on the sides and on the back of the grip there as well. So very, very comfortable to hold. Just a quick note as well, you may have noticed, the keen-eyed amongst you there, the magazine is the new HK design. Those of you who have been following the Battlefield 6 release and all the sort of news around that will probably recognise that from the game as well. So it's the new HK mag. Decent quality polymer, certainly not heavy, but it feels decent quality. It's got slight extended follower there as well, so you're going to lose fewer BBs in the hop chamber when you eject the mag. So yeah, nice, decent quality, very decent to grip as well. You've got some nice ridges on there, and also you've got windows on the side, on each side there in this that shape there, and also on the back. So you get a good idea of how many BBs you've got left in the mag. Neat. Ambidextrous, very wide charging handle there as well. So if you can see that other side of the scope that we've put on. There we go. Again, very easy to use. The mock bolt does lock back, as you can see there, revealing more H&K trades on the fake bolt. A nice rotary hop unit as well, which is very fine control. I think there's very slight indents on there as well, so you can get very fine adjustment on there, which is very nice. That's paired with a 6.03 type bore in a barrel as well, so there's good potential for decent range and accuracy from this thing. You know, get some decent quality BBs in there, you should be hitting people, reaching out and touching folk far away. And then there's your bolt release. Moving back from there, the familiar HK stock there. I liken it to a bit to the UGG boot ride, but it's very similar. We've all seen this design before, but it is very good on battery storage. You should easily be able to fit like a 2000 milliamp hour 7.4 volt battery in there, and it is wired to Deans as well, which is nice to see. More and more manufacturers are stepping away from Mini Tamiya, which they should now, because it's old and Deans is just better. So yeah, nice lot of storage capacity in there. I mean, you could use a buffer tube battery if you wanted to. Something like a 1300 milliamp hour will fit in there nicely. There is an inline MOSFET in the gun as well. It's a VFC based, what they call a 2.1 gearbox, which essentially it's a version 2 gearbox, but they call it 2.1 because it's the way they've set up the ambidextrous fire selector, I believe. But it is compatible with all version 2 bits and pieces, so if you wanted to do any upgrades in the future, no problem. Everything's reinforced inside there, including the gearbox shell itself, so everything's nice and sturdy, and it's 8mm ball bearings, I believe, on there as well, on an 18:1 gear ratio. But yeah, decent trigger response. It's just, yeah, it's a very nicely put together gun, very, very solid. Certainly compared to other things we've seen of this kind of quality, value-wise as well, is very good. Obviously, we can't say that too much on YouTube because the algorithm bites you. But yeah, it's very, you get a lot for your money with this, I would say. So yeah, that's the externals of the gun. Again, it's a good weight. It's not light by any means because it's a full metal construction. Plus, we've stuck this big Novrich scope on the top of it as well. But it feels a reassuring weight, you know, real good quality kind of feel to it. Nothing wobbles, nothing rattles, nothing bends or flexes. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. But enough gossip. Let's stick it up on the range and see how it performs. So here we are on our indoor upstairs range in the showroom, and we're going to put the HK416-FS through its paces, see how it feels to shoot. Using 2 gram BBs, or 0.2 gram BBs I should say, 2 gram BBs, wow. Also, just something to note, in our description on the website we do recommend a 7.4 volt LiPo battery. However, we thought just as a bit of a test we'd try an 11.1 in here to see how it performs, see how it sounds. So, wish us luck. Anyway, let's see how we go. I do like these iron sights, they are very nice. Let's try fun mode. So full auto, here we go. Oh, there we go, mag empty. Nice. That actually, on an 11.1, that actually sounds like it's coping with it fine, to be fair. Nice snappy response on the trigger, decent rate of fire. Not overly quick, but you know, they are 18:1 gears after all, so you can't expect too much. But no, it's certainly competitive on the field, I would say. Yeah, feels very nice to shoot. One thing we didn't mention in the studio, the iron sights that come with it are very, very nice quality. Again, fully traded up with the HK logo. A lot of adjustment on this rear sight. You've got 2 different apertures to choose from, and height adjustable as well. And then if we have a look at the front one, you can see nice little ring and post design, but there's a nice white mark on the post there, which makes it very easy to find through the aperture of the rear sight. Really nice quality, very, very nicely made, and they don't feel like they're going to break or fall off or anything like that. Yeah, really nice. It kind of matches the rest of the gun in terms of build quality. Really good. And not only that, It does have a sling plate on the back, of course. You've got this ambidextrous sling plate here. Pretty standard HK thing. The holes are a little bit small perhaps, so you might want to use a universal sling adapter or a key ring or something like that. But you could also, if you want to run a 2-point or a 3-point sling, stick it through the stock and use this, which is a ambidextrous Picatinny mount sling adapter that they include in the box as well. Really nice little detail, so it can clamp on the top rail, on the side rail, wherever you want to put it, but yeah, that opens up options for using different types of slings. Nice thing to include. Yeah, really nice. So let's stick it through the chrono and see what we're shooting. So again, using 0.2 gram BBs on an 11.1 volt battery, 302, 297, 299, 302, 299. Yeah. Now, I should probably say we've not spent the time to set the hop on this thing, because obviously the indoor range is only, what, 6-7 meters at best, so not even worth doing that. So if you're using it outdoors, or if we were using it outdoors and we'd set the hop properly, we'd probably see a bit more consistent results there. Chances are the hop's all the way off, because that's probably how they send it from the factory. But yeah, again, it's not the most powerful, but around that 300 FPS on a 0.2 gram BB, it's certainly not bad. Certainly nothing to be sniffed at. Again, it'll be competitive on the field. Remember, range and accuracy isn't all about FPS. So yeah, really nice to shoot, very impressed, very nice to hold. I like it. So there you have it. A good solid performer. Seemed to work okay on an 11.1 LiPo. So, you know, I'm hopeful for that. Obviously, we'll conduct a few long-term tests to get the workshop guys to actually check it out and make sure the internals are up to the speed of an 11.1 volt. But yeah, really nice to shoot. Very kind of consistent performance. It's just, yeah, it was really nice. I enjoyed that. A couple of things we noted from doing that little shooting test. The magazine, I had previously said you could, let me get this out of here, you could see the BBs through the windows. You can't see the BBs through the windows. That was my mistake. However, it is a switchable magazine, which means it can be removed and on a nice little captive base plate there. So you can slide that back, you can remove this, and you can actually change the switch there to 30 rounds if you're doing any kind of realistic ammo capacity mil-sim kind of stuff. So not used all that often, but it's, you know, it's a kind of a nice little thing to have should you need it. I can imagine someone using this particular kind of gun might be more into the realistic mil-sim kind of environment anyway. So yeah, it's a nice little feature on there. And again, it's just a nice mag. I do like that mag actually. I wonder if I can get them for my gun. Anyway, yeah, that was the HK416-FS. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions about the gun, or if there's anything I didn't cover that you're interested in, then leave some comments down below. We'll do our best to answer those. But otherwise, we'll see you again. Thanks for watching.